Our familiar sight on television news and in the world of journalism these days, but that wasn't always the case. Today in Hometown History, we'll learn about a Sioux City woman who wasn't just relegated to the social pages of her local newspaper. She also stepped into areas traditionally reserved for men. Ruby Westenhaver was long forgotten until her descendants donated some of her works to the Sioux City Public Museum. Westenhaver was a reporter for the Sioux City Journal in the 1920s, doing the traditional type of stories you'd find a woman doing then.
The kind of news they're reporting are what we call the 4 Fs: food, family, fashion, and furnishings.
But the museum's Haley Aguirre says they also reveal a woman who was ahead of her time.
And she is writing about things like banking and industry and the farming community and what they would call hard news or men's news.
Aguirre says the stories are written with a female audience in mind, interweaving a personal angle, like a little boy trying to save enough money to buy his sister an orange.
Back in 1920, they would have been an extreme luxury good. And so he's talking to this banker about how to save money, and through reading the story, you learn about how this bank works.
Congress ratified giving women the vote in 1920, and Westenhaver represented the increasing role women were having in society.
But to show that things like schools and working women and these things are just as important as banks and farming and industry.
And she wasn't afraid to get into social commentary, too, showing how a working girl eating lunch at the YWCA tried to get by on $10 a week when her expenses are $12 a week. She also wrote about how a nanny goat at the Sioux City Zoo, yes, we had a zoo, got its hair bobbed.
Of course, the bob back in the day was the kind of women's protest movement of, I'm not going to have this long, luscious hair, I'm going to cut it short and maybe even be a flapper. Wouldn't that shock everybody?